Did you know there are 4 parenting styles? Diane Broodman in 1966 proposed a new system for classifying parents. She recognized 3 major approaches to child rearing: permissive parenting, authoritative parenting, and authoritarian parenting. It wasn't until 1983 that the 4th style was introduced, called neglectful parenting. This was introduced by McCoby and Martin, according to ParentingScience.com. I'd like to tell you why authoritative parenting, or gentle parenting, is the most beneficial parenting style for children. Today, we will discuss what makes a parenting style beneficial, then how authoritative parenting lays the foundation for positive mental and emotional health. Then we're going to talk about the inductive discipline that is used in authoritative parenting. Finally, I will discuss the common misconceptions around authoritative parenting. I currently am using the authoritative or gentle parenting method and have done a lot of research on the subject. A parenting style that meets all categories of Maslow's hierarchy of needs is the most beneficial. This means that all these levels must build upon themselves in order to achieve or gain the next level. You cannot move on until the foundation is there. For example, somebody is not going to feel this 3rd level of love and belonging if their psychological needs and safety needs have not been met. So we have briefly talked about what is needed for beneficial parenting. I'd like to show you how authoritative parenting meets all of these hierarchy of needs in children. Authoritative parenting lays the foundation for positive mental health and does so by using secure attachment. An article in ParentingScience.com discusses psychologist Mary Ainsworth's strange situation procedure. It says these things about secure attachment. A child who is securely attached is confident of their caregiver's support, understanding that a caregiver is accessible and responsive to their needs. As long as caregivers are nearby, securely attached children feel safe to explore and play and socialize with others. Another way that this foundation is laid is through respecting a child's autonomy. Merriam-Webster defines autonomy as self-directing freedom, especially moral independence. This means giving choices, listening, and granting wants and needs. The last way I'm going to discuss with you about how authoritative parents lay the foundation for positive mental and emotional health is they cultivate self-esteem. This means they display lots of affection and encouragement. As authoritative parents create nurturing environments, they must also discipline in a way that focuses on these ideals. So they use what is called inductive discipline. Parentingforthebrain.com says that inductive discipline sets clear limits, reminds children of the rules and discusses them with them, and the reasons that it is socially appropriate to exhibit these behaviors. This might be explaining why your child can't touch something, like it's too hot, it could burn you. Another way is through emotional identification and coping. This means if their child is feeling overwhelmed, they're saying, hey, I feel angry, I feel sad. And they might use the coping skills that you see here on the screen, like taking a deep breath, asking for a break, hugging an animal. Lastly, they teach empathy or concern for others. We help children develop moral reasoning skills by talking with them and telling them how our behavior impacts others. Now I'd like to touch on some of the common misconceptions or concerns around authoritative parenting. The first one is it is often confused as authoritarian parenting because the names are very similar. The difference is how parents exercise their power. Authoritarian parents use threats or coercion. They have a no questions asked policy. It's because I said so. It often gets confused with permissive parenting. According to PlumBasicMomCollective.com, permissive parenting is basically when kids run the show and children have their way. But gentle parenting or authoritative parenting is where the parents set clear boundaries and hold those expectations and boundaries. A child's voice is heard, but is not the sole decision maker. The last misconception I'd like to talk with you about today is authoritative parenting isn't effective, is what we hear. Effectiveness depends on your goal. If your goal is for individual autonomy and self-respect and dignity in your child to cultivate a healthy attachment between you two, then this is effective. Today, I explained why authoritative or gentle parenting is the most beneficial parenting style for children. First, I discussed what makes a parenting style beneficial. Next, I talked about how authoritative parenting displays or lays down that foundation of positive mental and emotional health. Then I talked about the use of inductive discipline in authoritative parenting. Finally, we discussed the common misconceptions around authoritative parenting. I want you to reflect on the parenting style that your parents used, the positives, the negatives, and the way that it made you feel. What changes, if any, do you wish were made? Now, imagine some of the techniques I touched on today. How would that have been beneficial in the children that you've raised, are raising, or your grandchildren? It's never too late to start implementing some of these positive, encouraging, and self-esteem building techniques. Thank you.